You're listening to the Cloak and Echo, where we venture into the dark corners Zavala doesn't want you to know about. I'm your host, Buddy, hunter, survivor, and professional bad decision maker.
And I'm the one who keeps bringing him back after those bad decisions.
You ever get that feeling like something's watching you, even when you're invisible and hiding behind 3 crates and a fallen satellite dish? Yeah, Hive don't knock, they just appear.
Technically, they phase in through ritual ether anchored by runes carved into space-time.
That's adorable. Still screamed like a civilian.
You jumped so high you hit the ceiling, with your head.
Tonight we're talking about the things that lurk in the shadows of Luna. Those chittering, 3-eyed nightmares that whisper your secrets back to you.
The Hive have been studying Guardians for centuries. They know more about the light than most warlocks.
And they're not writing research papers. They're writing death songs, with your name in the chorus.
Statistically speaking, they've included your name in approximately 37 ritual tablets.
Only 37? I'm honestly offended. I've killed way more than that. So I hit the moon last week. Not for the nostalgia. No, for a routine recon sweep, which is hunter code for nobody else wanted to go where everything drips blood.
You volunteered, actually, rather enthusiastically.
Details. Point is, I was there, alone. Well, with you, but you don't count when things get stabby.
I resent that. I provide moral support and resurrection services.
From a safe distance. Anyway, the Scarlet Keep was quiet. Too quiet. You know how the Hive are always screaming about something? Death, taxes, their weird Aunt Savathun? Total silence. Just the sound of my boots and something dripping.
It was unsettling. The Hive aren't known for subtlety.
That's when I found it. A seam in the wall. Not natural. Too straight. Too intentional. Followed it down about 30 meters to what looked like a door. Not Hive architecture. Older. Much older. Found a hidden tomb in the Scarlet Keep. Not on any map. Sealed with a rune that hummed when I touched it. You know what's a bad sign? When the runes hum back.
I advised against touching anything that glows green.
And miss all the fun, please. So I opened it up, and inside, a circle of dead Hive, each one with their own ghost.
Those were real ghosts, not Hive mimicry.
They weren't moving, not dead, not alive. It was like something took the light out of them and left the shell.
The ghosts were suspended in some kind of crystalline structure. Analysis showed traces of light, but corrupted somehow, inverted.
The Hive around them were positioned like they were worshipping? No, more like offering themselves. Their arms outstretched toward the ghosts, like they were trying to receive something.
Or give something.
The thing that really got me was the carvings on the floor. I've seen enough Hive runes to know their death magic, but these were different. These looked like they were trying to channel the light, reverse engineer it. When I stepped further in, the whole chamber lit up. Not with Hive fire, with something else. Cold light. The kind that doesn't warm you.
The temperature dropped 12 degrees instantly.
And then the whispers started. Not in Hive tongue, in English. Names, guardian names, hundreds of them.
Including 3 who went missing last season during a strike operation.
I recorded what I could, but my feed kept cutting out. Something was interfering with the signal. It wasn't until I was leaving that I noticed the worst part.
The markings on the wall.
Yeah, a timeline. A ritual schedule. Whatever they were doing in there, they weren't finished. And based on the lunar cycle marked on that wall, they're coming back. Soon.
3 days from now, to be precise.
I sealed it back up. Left some surprises for whatever comes back. But here's the kicker. When I reported it to Ikora, she already knew. Said it was being handled, which is tower speak for, we're terrified but don't want to cause a panic.
To be fair, that describes approximately 87% of all Vanguard operations.
So now you know why I'm broadcasting from a bunker this week. Whatever's happening up there on Luna isn't just another Hive death choir. They're studying us, studying our light, and they're getting better at it.
Do you feel weak, inadequate, afraid of the dark spaces between stars? Do you want to be better? Do you want to crush your fear beneath a flaming fist of havoc? Of course you do!
From Lord Shaxx comes Fight Your Inner Coward, the audiobook. Now available on GhostNet and Crystal Engram format.
What do you mean you're scared? Throw more grenades. Fear is just adrenaline you haven't weaponized yet.
It's not therapy. It's shouting your problems into submission.
I used to have nightmares about the pyramid ships. Now I challenge them to crucible matches in my dreams.
I stopped crying, started punching. 10 out of 10.
Chapter 3 made me set my journal on fire, with my mind. Most effective bibliotherapy I've experienced.
Order now and receive a complimentary battle cry lesson. Learn to intimidate fallen captains and Vanguard accountants alike.
Fight Your Inner Coward by Lord Shaxx. Because sometimes motivation just needs to be louder than your excuses.
You know, before we continue, I want to share something. Not the usual Guardian bravado, something real. There was a time I lost my light. Not during the Red War. This was after. Fell off a ridge in old Russia. Ghost went silent. Didn't die. That would have been easier. Just disconnected. Just me. My sidearm with 3 rounds left, and something hive-shaped that really wanted to talk, using its teeth.
Buddy never told me the full story until years later.
3 days in a cave, no light, no regeneration, every scratch stayed, every bruise lingered, had to wrap my leg with strips of my cloak. The worst part wasn't the pain, it was the cold, not just physical, the kind where you realize if they take your light, they don't kill you. They rewrite you, change what's underneath, and you come back wearing their face. I heard them, outside the cave, scratching, whispering, not in any language I knew, but I understood. They were patient. They knew I was weakening. On the 3rd night, I saw it. A night, just watching, not attacking, waiting, like it knew something I didn't.
What happened?
I survived. Ghost reconnected. Never figured out why the connection dropped in the first place. But I remember that cold, that isolation. The way the hive, they don't just want to kill us. They want to convert us, make us understand their truth.
Is that why you shoot Thrall before they get close? Even when they're not a threat?
Yeah. And why I never sleep near Eris's candles, and why I check every helmet I find for hive runes underneath. The darkness isn't just an enemy, it's a perspective. A way of seeing that makes sense if you look at it long enough. That's the real danger. So anyway, that's my trauma dump for the day. My therapist says sharing helps. She's wrong, but at least now you know why I keep 6 knives on me at all times.
7. You forgot the one in your boot.
That's not a knife. That's emergency rations.
It's literally a knife.
Multi-purpose.
Hi, I'm Stan. And, you ever wanted to date a hive knight with a soft side? No? Too bad. Introducing Love in the Deep, the dating sim that lets you romance your way through the hive hierarchy. It's got everything. Awkward first dates in the Hellmouth, romantic moonlit sacrifices, and customizable chitinous armor for your dating profile pic. Features include Thrall to My Heart, speed dating, Wizard of Love, potion brewing minigames, and Knight in Shining Ewell bone courtship challenges. Swipe left for Wizard, swipe right for Ogre. Please swipe left. For the love of the traveler, swipe left.
Love in the Deep. Available nowhere. Ever. This game violates 17 Tower Edicts and may summon actual hive. Side effects include nightmares, chitinous growths, and extremely awkward guardian social gatherings.
Please help me. They won't let me leave the recording studio.
Welcome back to Call-In Corner, where our listeners share their most haunting, hilarious, or just plain weird hive encounters. Ghost, Patch, and our first caller.
Connecting now. Try not to traumatize this one.
Hi, this is Petra. I'm a warlock with the Praxic Order. Or I was. I'm taking some time off.
Let me guess, hive-related sabbatical?
I was studying hive glyphs near Luna when one of them moved. Like, not lit up, moved. It followed me back to my ship, then to my quarters. For 6 hours, it just traveled across surfaces. Walls, consoles, my armor.
Wait, the glyph itself moved? Not just glowed or pulsed?
It was like a living shadow. When I finally got back to my quarters and took off my robes, I saw it had transferred onto my skin. I burned my robes, scrubbed for hours. I swear sometimes I still see it in the corner of my eye.
Good instinct. Burn the glyphs, burn the robes, burn the moon if you have to. Seriously, though, get to Akora. Moving glyphs usually mean inscription hexes. They're trying to mark you.
Marker for what?
Nothing good. Typically ritual sacrifice or recruitment. Let's lighten the mood. Next caller?
Hello, this is Comet 9, Hunter. Just wanted to share what happened during patrol last week.
Hit us with it, Comet.
So, I was completely lost in the Hellmouth. You know how the maps down there are useless. And I ran out of ammo fighting some knights. Figured, what the heck, and I actually asked a hive acolyte for directions once.
What now?
I just walked up, hands empty, and asked which tunnel led back to the surface. It stared at me for like 10 seconds, then shrieked and exploded. The explosion blew open a wall that led straight to a shortcut to the surface. Still got where I needed to go.
Technically effective.
Traveler's crack, Comet. That's either the dumbest luck or smartest strategy I've ever heard. Remind me never to ask you for directions, though.
Oh, it happens all the time. I've found that if you just act really confident around Hive, they get confused. My ghost calls it tactical absurdity.
Your ghost might be onto something. The Hive understand fear, rage, even devotion. But confusion? That's our superpower, Guardians. And that's why I keep doing this show. Sometimes the best weapon against cosmic horror is just being weird right back at it. All right, let's get serious for a minute. Ghost has been compiling data on Hive rituals that even Eris is finding concerning. Ghost, educate our listeners on what we're dealing with here.
Recent activity indicates the Hive have evolved new psionic rituals. Their priests don't just draw from the darkness now, they manipulate memory as a weapon. The tomb you discovered on the moon appears to be a psionic amplification chamber. When Guardians enter these spaces, the Hive can extract fragments of memory and reflect them back as weaponized trauma.
Yeah, had a knight try to guilt trip me using my own regrets. Didn't work. I don't remember anything before yesterday.
That explains much.
But seriously, what's worse than regular Hive magic, Hive therapy?
It's not therapy. They're creating what cryptarchs are calling memory anchors, physical manifestations of Guardian trauma that bind to specific locations. Return to that location, and the memory intensifies, potentially causing psychological damage or temporary light disruption.
So they're basically setting up psychological traps. Great.
The disturbing part is how targeted these rituals are. The Hive are studying us, learning our weaknesses on an individual level. They've never shown this level of personalization before.
Personalized horror. That's just what I wanted. You think they take requests? I've got some memories from the Tower holiday party I'd love to have erased.
This isn't a joke, buddy. Guardians experiencing these attacks report feeling their light temporarily corrupted. Some even claim to hear whispers in their own voice.
Fine. For any Guardians listening, if you start seeing your worst memories play out in real time, or hear yourself whispering instructions that sound like terrible ideas, get out. Don't engage. And for Traveler's sake, don't try to shoot your own memories. They're incorporeal, and you'll just waste ammo.
Light, darkness, wax. At Morn and Flame, we hand-pour each candle from the tears of Hive thralls and scented abyssal oils. Our signature collection brings the cosmic horror right to your living space.
Try Nightmare Musk, Void Tallow, and New Moon Melancholy. Each candle burns for 666 minutes and may occasionally whisper your deepest regrets. Free rune scraper with purchase.
Our newest collection, Whispers of Crota, features wick material harvested from actual Hive spawning grounds. Light it at your own risk.
Eris Morn's Candle Emporium. When darkness falls, our flames rise. Available at select tower vendors. No refunds for possessions or existential dread.
I bought 2. I regret it, but my ghost smells amazing.
I told you to stop burning those near me.
But the package said enhances ghost luminosity.
It also said may attract Hive god attention. Read the fine print.
Fear is the Hive's favorite meal. They chew on it, wear it like armor. They harvest it from us like we're just emotional batteries feeding their rituals. But you know what they hate? What really burns them? Laughter, defiance, a guardian standing tall with nothing but a knife and a bad attitude. It's why I keep making these broadcasts. Why I crack jokes while knee-deep in chitin and nightmare fuel. Because every time we laugh in the face of horror, we're stealing power back from them. Next time you hear whispers, whisper back. And if it whispers your name, tell it you've got better things to do. This is the Cloak and Echo. I'm Buddy, and I don't scare easy.